Good afternoon, Harlem and Harlems of the world. I'm Terri Wisdom, and this is Harlem Network News. We are rebroadcasting this program. We thought it that important. We were having some technical difficulties earlier, but everything has been resolved and corrected. For those of you who are just joining, Harlem Network News is a new media platform that started at the onset of COVID. We are on Facebook every Sunday at 4 p.m., including special broadcasts. We are on Instagram, YouTube, HarlemNetworkNews.com, Twitter, and we are also on Clubhouse. We started at the onset of COVID, and we knew that it was important because in lots of instances, information about what's happening in Harlem and Harlems of the world is not really transmitted. And it's also important that we tell our own stories so folks get the real and true information about what is happening in our communities. Communities by or us, for us, and of us. So today, I have some very, very exciting news and information. We are the voice and the drumbeat of Harlem. Yesterday, Saturday, there was a county committee meeting that took place right here in Harlem in Riverbank State Park. And we appointed our new state senator. And just a short and brief civic lesson. As many of you know, our state senator, Brian Benjamin of the 30th Senate District here in New York for the state, was appointed the lieutenant governor to our newly appointed governor, Kathy Hochul. He was appointed, the appointment was announced right at the Adam Clayton Powell Jr. State Office Building in front of the community. And then a week later, he was officially appointed at the governor's office on 3rd Avenue here in Manhattan. So it was indeed a glorious day and a day of pride for us here in Harlem. But once our governor was, our lieutenant governor, Brian Benjamin, was appointed and installed, that left our state senator seat vacant. So because it was a special appointment and it'll be a special election, in this instance, the county committee convenes, and the county committee is led by our Democratic lead for the state of New York. The Democratic lead for the state of New York is the Honorable Keith Wright, who has a phenomenal and long career here as a public official, but he is currently the Democratic lead for the state. And this is very, very critical. Under his leadership, we also have district leaders. Some of the district leaders, which I'm sure are names that you are familiar with, which is William Allen. He is one of our district leaders. Wilma Brown is one of our district leaders. And Cordell Clear was one of our district leaders. So yesterday, what happened is this committee, which is approximately 800 people who are part of this county committee. They are Democrats, and they are on the county committee. And when we have a special election, it is the county committee that actually gets together and makes that determination. So candidates for appointment yesterday were Cordell Clear, Athena Moore, and Athena Moore is the director of the Northern Manhattan office for the borough president of Manhattan's office, for Gail Brewer's office, okay? We also had Reverend Al Taylor, who is our assembly person here in Harlem. And he was also a candidate. And then we had Shauna Harmongarth. And Shauna Harmongarth is the chief of staff for Brian Benjamin's office. There were other people that were sent to be interested in the state senatorship, and our Assemblywoman, Inez Dickens, was one of those people. However, Honorable Inez Dickens, pulled out, and she was not on the ballot or the candidacy from the state Senate. I know that this sounds extremely complex, and I am grateful that I was able to receive a crash course and a great education in what happens when the county committee convenes to make a decision in a special election. I spent a week of talking to people, of researching. Thank goodness we now have Google, and other tools that make it easier for us to instantly get information. But I was able to gather that instant information, and there are great people who assisted me in the process. William Allen, who was a body of knowledge about this political public process, as well as Nye Whitaker, Derek Perkison, who's on the committee, and even some of the candidates, Moore, shared with me what the process is. So I'm very grateful to that. And I, Terri Wisdom of Harlem Network News, I'm sharing that process with you because as citizens, as voters, this is what our lives matter is about. This is what Black Lives Matter is about. This is what all lives matter is about. We have got to get ourselves involved, actively involved in the process of electing public officials. It's critical. Our lives depend on it. Our businesses depend on it. The education of our children depend on it. Our health and our housing depends on it. Everything depends on it. And we can no longer sit back and be disconnected from this process. The last election that we had, the primary election, only 28% of all of New York City voted. This is shameful. Amidst a pandemic where Harlem was hit the hardest, New York was hit very hard. Only 28%, and I'm not saying 28% of the people in Harlem, I'm saying 28% of the people in New York City voted. And prior to that, when we ratified the ranked choice voting, only 17% of the people voted. So what that is saying is that a small percentage of people is determining what's going to happen in all of our lives. And we cannot allow that to happen. And I'm Terri Wisdom for those of you who are joining. This is Harlem Network News. And today we are here to celebrate the victory of our new state senator, Cordell Clear. Clap it up, Cordell Clear. Make sure that that's a familiar name to you. I'm sure if you're here in Harlem in our 30th district, you are familiar with Cordell Clear. She's boots on the ground. She's been a district leader. She was instrumental in getting some bills passed. that dealt with the lead poisoning of children. She took that on. You know, she was also chief of staff for our council member, Bill Perkins. She's active in that role for many, many years. So Cordell knows her way around the legislation. She's boots on the ground. So she is our new appointed state senator. Okay, so I'm teaching today. I'm preaching and I'm teaching today. Terri Wisdom, Harlem Network News. So going further and going forward, yesterday in a special election appointment process, the county committee convened, led by the Democratic leader, Honorable Keith Wright. Others on the dais were Nye Whitaker of the Board of Elections, the secretary of the county committee was there. An entire process that took place at Riverbank State Park in the theater, Denny Farrell Theater. So amazing. I saw many, many, many of our community members, many of whom I know, and I met new people that I don't know. There was an ethnic balance. Our district is majority Black and Brown people. However, 1/4 of our district, or maybe a little bit over a quarter, a third of our district, is the Upper West Side contingency, who are not Black and Brown. So there's a diversity there that must be addressed. And our former state senator, Brian Benjamin, who is now the lieutenant governor, had that task. And now Cordell Clear, our newly appointed state senator, has the task of addressing all of the people and representing all of the people in a very, very diverse community. I'm Terri Wisdom, and this is Harlem Network News coming to you live. So as I continue today, and I'm preaching and I'm teaching because I was a great student this week, and I learned all about the county committee process and how we do special elections. And I had the honor of being a volunteer at the committee to really just observe and understand what was going on. And I saw many friends, many neighbors, many community members that I've worked side by side with, and it was just an honor. Folks that stand out in my mind who were there, there's a Miss Nixon that I met. Miss Nixon is 101 years old, and she is a member. She is totally on it, and she, introduced herself to me. Miss Nixon is 101 years old, and her message to everyone is that we really need everybody to get out to vote. Her father was a Harlem hellfighter. She is fighting still to get recognition for her dad. She said she remembers her first day in kindergarten at a Harlem school that is still standing. So Miss Nixon is an example for us all. And she was a voting member, a determining member. I also saw Miss Latrice of the Honeys and Bears, who is 99 years old, and she was there with Miss Jeannie, another Honeys and Bear member. And I saw Pat Greenidge, who is head of many of the vendors on 125th and doing a lot on 116th. She's an activist, has done she's just, and a committed community member. I saw Miss White, formerly of Harlem Hospital. I saw Sharon Salam, who is the mother of Dr. Yusef Salam of the Exonerated Five. So as you can see, there was so many, many, many diverse community members that were there, that were a part. And it was just a refreshing experience. And the format was that each candidate, and the candidates were four. The candidates were Athena Moore, Cordell Clear, Reverend Al Taylor, Shauna Harmongarth, and then there was also Assembly Member Robert Rodriguez. And he withdrew, though he was presented as a candidate, he withdrew early. There were 3 rounds. And the first round, Athena Moore came out on top. Next was Cordell Clear. And third was Reverend Al Taylor. And fourth was Shauna Harmongarth. And it had to do with the amount of votes that you get. And, in order to win, people needed to have gotten more than 50% of the votes. Otherwise, we went to round 2. We went to round 2, and Athena came out the winner for round 2. And then we had Cordell Clear and Reverend Al Taylor. At the end of round 2, there was a lot of discussion, and it was vibrant, and it appears, and I don't think that this is on paper, but Reverend Al Taylor pulled out. Reverend Al Taylor's constituents committed to Cordell Clear, and so when we got to round 2, and the race was between Cordell Clear and Athena Moore, Cordell Clear came out the winner. Powerful moment in time in Harlem. Just the fact that so many people, there are about 800 people that are part of this county committee. And we're going to be letting you know in the future how you can actually, apply to be a part of this county committee. I think it's very important. And I think as interested citizens, that's what we should do. The county committee, most of the people that are on the county committee are 50 plus. There were a few young people there, and I want to give a shout out to them, but everybody else was 50, maybe the medium age was 65 to 70, and there was a lot of 80 and 90-year-old folks in there as part of this county committee. So very important that young people get involved. And I just want to say a word that if these elders can come out, and most of them travel by bus, some had walkers, some had scooters, some had canes, but they were there. They were there, they were committed, they were clear-minded, and they were about the business of a better life for all of us. And they understood the political process and the significance of voting. And that's where we all need to go. So I felt very inspired. And I also felt extremely inspired because this is a moment where Harlem Network News scooped the news. We were the first to let you know that we have a new state senator, and that is Cordell Clear. And we were there and a part of the process. Harlem Network News is the voice and the drumbeat of Harlem. And yesterday, we truly demonstrated that in this process. Very important, very critical, very encouraging to us. We are a new media platform, and we started at the onset of COVID. We knew how important our job was, and we take our job and our task extremely serious. Harlem Network News is making a change in Harlem and Harlems of the world. We are about the people. We are about informing the people so that we can all be our best and have the best life. There are a lot of disparities here in Harlem. And now that Cordell Clear is the new state senator and has taken the place of Brian Benjamin, we have to ask what is next for Harlem. And that 30th district that Cordell will now be the state senator for covers East Harlem. It covers Central Harlem. It covers the Upper West Side. It covers Sugar Hill, Hamilton Heights, Inwood, and all of those. Our district is diverse. You know, we have different ethnicities, we have different languages, but one thing that's clear and stands firm in the things that we need is we are experiencing great economic disparity here. And we have been for a long time. So what happens is that this rolls over, and this is a trickle down for much. So our state senator, first and foremost, has to attack economic disparities, which impact our whole quality of life. Whole quality of life. We have educational disparity. We have food insecurity. That's a disparity. We have health services as a disparity. Education, particularly in Central Harlem, is separate but not equal. 99% of the children who attend our public schools are children of color, and they are not getting an equal education. That's got to change. That's got to stop. Housing, you know, someone spoke yesterday, and I think it was mentioned, and Cordell may have spoken in her acceptance speech to share the fact that there are like apartments that cost $5 million in Harlem, and maybe the maintenance for that is $2,000. Okay, this is for condos. Who is that affordable to? I mean, pretty much what has been happening with these developers is that they are trying to push everyone out. And those that, you know, are on the bottom or middle of the economic ladder. So that housing in Harlem will no longer be affordable. That is what's going on. We have to stop the bleed. You know, even when they say housing is affordable, affordable for who? That's the clear question. Affordable for who? Certainly not affordable for even the middle class person. This infrastructure that is being talked about on the federal level, bringing broadband and, you know, equal internet connections and so on and so forth, very important as we move into this new time. You know, even the global warming issue and the climate control issues, those are impactful. Many Harlemites were flooded. Many people in our district, we have homeowners here, we have businesses here who experienced what is global warming. You know, we also had an outbreak of Legionnaire's disease in Central Harlem, which has to do with the water and the vapors in the water. So we have a lot going on, you know, not to mention what is going on with crime, police, you know, and there's all kinds of crime going on crime in the community, you know, police brutality. We're in a police state. And it all boils down to economics. You know, people who may have parking tickets or problems with their registration being arrested and locked up. And then look at the conditions in Rikers Island. Even if Governor Kathy Hochul did release 178 people, even after that, you know, the conditions are outrageous. That has to be addressed. Mayor de Blasio, like you're just now going to Rikers Island. I mean, we all need to do a walkthrough in Rikers Island. In fact, I'm going to make that a mission for Harlem Network News so we can let you know what's really happening. So we have a lot of issues and agendas on the table. So we're going to have to work very closely with our new state senator, Cordell Clear, okay? So that we are clear what is on the top of her list, what's on Front Street for her, and then we can work to support her. And we also need to let her know what our needs are. Because if you don't speak out and you don't let people know and you don't get involved, then you're not clearly able to effectuate what needs to be done. You can't just complain. You know, you've got to actually get out there and really become an activist. It's critical, it's important. You're not too busy to do that because it's going to come back and bite you on the other side. You know, our children are dying. They're being shot in the streets. Our elders are dying from the COVID and the variants, you know. And so it's very critical. We need to hear from our doctors so we get clear information, so we understand. And Harlem Network News is not going vaccine, no vaccine. We're just saying clear information, be educated, be informed, so you can make the correct decision for you and your family, and particularly for your children, you know, as we're looking at a vaccine that is going to be available for children. Very, very critical. And Harlem Network News is going to be sure to bring more of that information to you from our own doctors. But all I can say is that yesterday was an amazing experience and a rewarding experience for me. I'm Terri Bisman, and this is Harlem Network News. And I was proud to be at the county committee yesterday when we actually appointed our new state senator, Cordell Clear. And it was such an education for me because I chased the information and I researched the information all week long as to who and what is the county committee, what is the county committee process. I called the Board of Elections, I called the State Board of Elections, I was informed that it's under the City Board of Elections. I spoke to district leaders, I made attempts to talk to all of, you know, the lead, the Democratic lead, district leaders. And what I do understand, I wanted to make it a transparent process for our community. I wanted to understand it so I could assure that you, our listeners and our constituents could understand it. But I do understand that because it was voting, because it is members, that there is a part of this that though it's a public informational, there are also constraints that district leaders and candidates are under so that everything is a fair process. But Harlem Network News is here to assure that the fair and democratic process takes place, but we're also here to assure that our community is aware. And our job here at Harlem Network News is to have community awareness, but at the same time to just rouse up the community so that the community becomes engaged, because there is a disconnect in our community. And for those of you who are just joining, I'm Terri Wisdom, and this is Harlem Network News. Harlem Network News is a new media platform. We're on Facebook, we're on Instagram, we're on YouTube, we're on Twitter. We also are on Clubhouse and TikTok. So every aspect we're covering, and that is to be able to clearly get the information to you. Knowledge is power, and we care, Black lives matter, all lives matter. And information is key. Harlem Network News is indeed the voice and drumbeat of Harlem. So you heard it first on Harlem Network News that yesterday Cordell Clear was appointed the state senator for the 30th district here in New York. So we are very proud, and it was a tough fight, but Cordell is deserving. She has done the work. She has been boots on the ground. She is known in the community. She also previously ran for city council, as did Athena Moore, who was the second runner up. And Athena Moore is boots on the ground. And both of them, the beauty of it was that they hugged and they embraced when Cordell was elected and came out the winner. Cordell, as many of you know, lost her son, 28 years old, to COVID, just within this month. But even with that, Cordell was still here. She was at the appointment or the announcement of the appointment of Senator Brian Benjamin to Lieutenant Governor out at the state office building. And she continued to work diligently for the people. And this is in the name of even her son passing and what her son's expectations, and this was her youngest son, what the expectations were for. So it really shows the character of us as a people, the care, the work is not over. So very, very critical. That's who Cordell is. So now it's up to us to reach out to Cordell Clear, our new state senator, and let Cordell Clear know clearly what our needs are and make sure those needs are met. Anybody who is a candidate or a public official in New York City, in the country, it is our job to hold them feet to the fire, feet to the fire for what the needs of the people are. Critical, important. The beauty also, and just, giving a signage and a shout out, Harlem Network News, Terri Wisdom here. And I am speaking about the great victory of Cordell Clear as the new state senator for New York State for the 30th district. So we are very proud, and we salute you, Cordell, and we know you, Cordell. So this is really important, and it makes us know that it's a new day. It's a new day here in Harlem. And in Cordell's acceptance speech, that is what she said. It is a new day in Harlem. This is a time for change. This is a time for everyone working collectively, no matter what their positions are and what their differences may be. It's got to be one Harlem. We've got to work together. Our city council election that just happened showed us that. There were 12 people running. The votes were split. Kristen Jordan Richardson was able, and she's young, and we're definitely going to have you on, Kristen. If you're listening, it's your turn next week, as you are the Democratic candidate that was chosen. We're neck and neck with our current council person, Bill Perkins, and he conceded the race. And now you are the Democratic candidate for city council in District 9. But that race was the roughness. That race had 12 people running in it. And because the votes were so split and splintered, it allowed someone who was new to come in and move ahead. And so thinking strategically, thinking collectively, and now that Christian Jordan Richardson is the candidate, we've got to work with her as well. It's very critical. We cannot, a house divided cannot stand. And that was truly the message that Cordell had. You know, Athena and Cordell will be working collectively, you know, to work with one another, you know, and work with Assembly Member Inez Dickens, work with Assembly Member Reverend Al Taylor, work with our Congressman Adriano Espaillat. It's about the collective work for the good of the people. I'm Terri Wisdom. This is Harlem Network News, and we're talking about the special appointment that took place yesterday at Riverbank State Park with Cordell Clear coming out as the front runner. And I was just particularly moved, and once again, know it's the direction that we need to move in, with everyone working collectively, speaking about it, knowing who some of the true enemies and villains are, developers and, you know, people who are going to come to our community and use our community as a stepping stone. And, you know, there were representatives yesterday there from NYCHA, public housing, you know, just speaking about some of the atrocities that are going on there. We spoke about some of the atrocities that are going on, of course, in Rikers Island. You know, I mean, it is time for change. We have violence going on in our community. We have homelessness going on in our community. And we have got to take the wheel. We've got to take the wheel. We can't allow other people to make decisions for us and push us out of our own community. You can't allow that to happen. Our ancestors are looking at us. Our elders are out there on the front line taking hits. And we've got to fight for ourselves, and we have got to fight for our children. So this is my special message. This is Harlem Network News's message that, you know, it is, as we say, it's nation time. And I was particularly moved as well when at the end of Cordell Clear's acceptance speech, our new Lieutenant Governor, Brian Benjamin, actually came on the stage and congratulated her and spoke about, you know, how glad he was to have her fill that position. So it was a great day in Harlem. As every day I was feeling like, yes, we can, and that we do have hope. And other great things that happened yesterday, which I think is very, very, very befitting, is that in Morningside Park, there was an Our Common Ground Fall Family Festival. And it's been going on. It's a 40th anniversary of the Friends of Morningside Park. And it happened yesterday, starting, I believe, at 10 a.m. And it really was representative of diversity. There was African dance, there was jazz. I believe that the organization's Warm and Jackie Rowe Adams organization with the mothers who have lost their children. There was a dedication to, you know, all of those and the great work that they do. So it was really an effort to bring the community together. So after leaving this great county committee, I had the honor to go over there. And one of the co-chairs, a good friend and an activist, Asato Bay Grisha, was celebrating her birthday, you know, at the end of the Our Common Ground event. I actually had the honor of meeting the sculptor who did the incredible statue, which is lying on the ground. The Statue of Liberty, who lies and reclines on the ground. So it was just a powerful and empowering day, and more of the direction that I think we must move in for change. And there are a lot of movers and shakers in our community, and we need more movers and shakers in our community. And this is really about each one teach one and the hand-to-hand combat. So we encourage you to stay vigilant. We encourage you to stay informed, no matter how busy you are or what you're saying. You're doing small business and you're overwhelmed. Please take a moment to connect and know what is happening in our community. And those of you who are connected and do know what's happening, tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend. Like we say, the DJ or whoever's promoting the party. Tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend, because we matter, our lives matter. So thank you so much for joining us. Thank you for spreading the word. Harlem Network News is a vital part of the Harlem community. We are about change. We are about care. We are about the resilience of our people. So please, if you can, make a donation to Harlem Network News. We do have a form where you can contribute, no matter what it is, $5, $10, whatever you can contribute to Harlem Network News, critical. If you're an organization and you want to sponsor a show, that's an option as well. If you are a writer and you'd like to be a contributing writer, that would be fantastic. We definitely are looking for more staff so that we can cover more things that are going on. And so this is a community and a collective effort, but we need your support. So you can go to Harlem Network News at gmail.com and, submit your request or, what your expertise and how you can assist. And you can also go to us on Instagram and DM us, or you can go to Facebook and send us a message. You can call us directly at 646-261-5397, and you can reach us that way. So we are just making sure that we are open and we are connected, and COVID is still here. Okay, the variants is still here. Schools are open, but there has been an overwhelming amount of exposures in the school. But we're working through this. We're working through it collectively. Please continue to wear your mask. Please continue to build your immune system and work through it. The vaccine, no vaccine, that we're not going to debate. We encourage you to do your research and to make the best choices for you and your family. But no matter what your choice is, you still need to stay vigilant. You still need to keep your social distancing. You still need to wash your hands, and you need to fortify yourself with your vitamin C, your vitamin D, your zinc, getting lots of fluid, getting your rest. These are the things that can help you. Rinsing your nose, your nasal cavities with saline solution when you come in, washing, shedding the clothes from the exterior. We still have to keep vigilant, and that's what we have to do. This COVID and variants, a new norm. Harlem was also hit with Legionnaire's disease, so which comes from the water towers, the air conditioning. So there's a lot going on. Climate change, that must be addressed. Members of the Harlem community were hit, were flooded, businesses were flooded, lost a lot. You do have to reach out to FEMA to get help for that. But Our great Congressman Adriano Esbion did a special on that with lots of information. Our Mark Levine, who is part of the city council and head of health, he had a lot to say. And as many of you know, Mark Levine is our candidate for the new borough presidency here in Manhattan. So there's a lot going on. You know, stay vigilant, be excited about our community. We've got to get excited about Harlem. We got to stand strong. And when I say it's Harlem, I say that in a generic sense because we're representative of a lot. So goes Harlem and so goes the world. This is Terri Wisdom, and it has been my honor and my pleasure. Support Harlem Network News. We are the voice and the drumbeat of the people. Take care. And we look forward. We're going to have Cordell Clear and also some of the other candidates who ran for the state senatorship as a reflection. We're hoping to have our Democratic lead, Keith Wright, Honorable Keith Wright, come on and talk to us. Nye Whitaker. Also, we'll be looking to hear from Derek Perkison, and he is the chief of staff over at NAN. And I know he's got some exciting things that are coming up with NAN. He has been named with some new committees, you know, that are coming up to really look at some of the violence that's happening in our community. So we will keep you posted on all of that. So that's all I can say. It's a great day in Harlem, as it is every day. We will also be speaking with Miss Sharon Salam and the Exonerated Five, because there are some exciting projects that are coming up in terms of the central wall dedication to the Exonerated Five in Central Park, as well as exploring a monument, a permanent monument to the Exonerated Five in Central Park. So this is all very, very critical, cutting edge stuff. So we need you to get involved. Thank you. And I'm Terri Wisdom, and I'm your host for today, bringing you and speaking as the voice and the drumbeat of Harlem. Take care, and Harlems of the world. Have a great day. Blessings.